Stories about flying. And let me tell you, if you think this is just some dry textbook reading, you are way off. These are high-stakes, pulse-pounding, highly cinematic thrillers about facing the absolute terrifying unknowns of the open sky. We're talking survival, the psychology of fear, and pushing right past your breaking point.
I'll take the risk. Just let that line hang in the air for a second. This insanely high-stakes quote is pulled right out of our text, and it captures the exact essence of what we're unpacking today. Look, whether you've got wings made of feathers or wings made of solid metal, stepping out into the void requires a split-second choice to face totally paralyzing fear. It's the point of no return. So let's jump right in and see how two completely different protagonists make that exact choice when literally everything is on the line. Conquering the skies. So our explainer today breaks down two wildly different narratives under this one massive theme. We've got a young, terrified seagull fighting his own instincts, and a human pilot making a crazy, reckless choice in the dead of night. First up, the seagull's terror, paralyzed by fear. Let's set the scene on a sheer cliff face. All right, so our young seagull is totally stranded on his ledge. His two brothers and his little sister, they already flew off the day before. And get this, the text points out his sister had way shorter wings than him, so he's completely alone. His parents are circling around, basically yelling at him, scolding him for being a total coward. You can practically feel the isolation here. He really wants to join them, and he even takes a little running start to the brink of the ledge. But then, boom, he hits this massive psychological wall. Because when he gets to the edge, he doesn't just see water, he sees miles down. The great expanse of the sea just stretches out forever. And to this young bird, it looks like a sheer, bottomless drop of doom. He's absolutely certain his wings will fail him. The scale of this void is just too much. So his courage totally fails, and he just runs back to his little hole to sleep.
So, what actually gets you to move when you are literally frozen in your tracks by fear? Well, being maddened by hunger definitely does the trick. Fast forward to the next day, the sun is blazing, and he hasn't eaten a single bite since the night before. He is desperately begging for food. And this is where his mom pulls off a completely ruthless, but honestly brilliant psychological power move. She flies over to him with a piece of fish in her beak, but then she stops, right opposite him. Her wings freeze, the fish is dangling just out of his reach. He sits there for a second in total shock, wondering why she won't just give it to him. And then, the hunger takes the wheel. His raw, primal survival instinct completely overrides all of that fear.
And with a massive scream, he dives right at the fish, the first flight. Taking the plunge.
He drops outwards and downwards straight into empty space. The safety of the ledge is gone, man. There is no going back on this move. It is a pure, terrifying freefall. Imagine the cinematic camera angle dropping right alongside him, the rushing wind, the absolute loss of control. The text describes this split second in the most beautifully terrifying way. It says, a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing. I mean, that is the ultimate depiction of a total panic attack. He's falling headlong, but here is the absolute game changer. It only lasts a minute. The very next second, millions of years of hardcore evolution kick right in. He feels his wings spread out. The wind catches his breast feathers, and suddenly, he isn't falling anymore.
In a flash, that pure terror flips into absolute triumph. He is curveting, banking, soaring, and diving. He is owning the skies, shrieking shrilly at the top of his lungs. And the craziest part? The text specifically notes that he completely forgot he hadn't always been able to fly. He lands on the green flooring of the sea, just floating there while his family screams and praises him. It is a total, massive victory over his own mind. But hey, our cinematic journey is only half over.
We are leaving the sunny ocean and plunging straight into the pitch black, into the storm, the black aeroplane.
Okay, picture this. Our human pilot is flying this old Dakota airplane over France at 1:30 in the morning, heading back home to England. The moon is coming up, the stars are out, he's daydreaming about his holiday, craving a massive English breakfast with his family. Everything is perfectly chill. He's loving being up there all alone above the sleeping world. But then, about 150 kilometers past Paris, he sees them. Storm clouds. Huge ones, rising up like massive black mountains across the entire sky. Now, he doesn't have the fuel to detour north or south around them. And bro, he wants that English breakfast so badly that he circles back to that exact quote we talked about earlier. I'll take the risk. he actually decides to fly this old, beat-up Dakota straight into the teeth of a violent storm.
The Phantom Pilot, lost in the clouds.
The second he enters those clouds, everything just goes instantly, horrifyingly black. You can't see a thing outside the plane. The old aircraft is jumping and twisting violently in the air. That huge, peaceful night sky we just talked about, it is now a claustrophobic, pitch-black trap. And the failures just start cascading. Step 1, the clouds completely swallow the plane. Step 2, he checks his compass, and he literally cannot believe his eyes. The needle is just spinning round and round and round. It's completely dead. Step 3, he frantically tries to radio Paris control. Can you hear me? Nothing. Dead air. The radio is gone too. All the other instruments fail. No compass, no radio, zero visibility. He is entirely, hopelessly lost. And then, out of the absolute blackness right near him, another airplane appears in the clouds. But there is something incredibly unsettling about this plane. It has zero lights on its wings. None. Yet he can clearly see it flying right next to him through the storm, and he can even see the pilot's face turned toward him. This mysterious pilot lifts a hand and just waves, motioning for our guy to follow him.
The unanswered question, the Phantom plane.
So desperate and completely terrified, our narrator follows this strange black airplane like an obedient child through the storm for a solid half hour. And just as his fuel tank is getting dangerously low, like we're talking maybe 5 or 10 minutes of flying time left, he suddenly drops out of the clouds and sees 2 long straight lines of lights right in front of him. A runway. He lands safely. But when he turns around to look for his buddy in the sky, it's empty. The black airplane is completely gone. Poof. So he walks away from the runway, heads straight into the control center, and asks the woman at the desk where that other pilot went. She looks at him like he's crazy, literally lets out a laugh, and delivers this absolute cinematic gut punch of a plot twist. Another airplane? Up there in the storm? No, other airplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar.
Which brilliantly leaves us staring straight into the central mystery of the text. Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane, flying in the middle of a storm with no lights? Was it just a crazy stress-induced hallucination, a literal guardian angel, or maybe some manifestation of his own deep subconscious survival skills guiding him through the darkness? The text totally refuses to hand us an answer. It just leaves us standing out there on the tarmac, staring up at the sky, wondering what the heck just happened.
Look, whether it's a young bird unlocking his true potential through sheer, maddening desperation, or a pilot guided through a deadly storm by an impossible phantom, both of these stories demand a massive leap of faith straight into the unknown. They remind us that the skies absolutely demand respect, and sometimes the only way out of a dead end is to fall. So next time you look up at a pitch-black, stormy sky, just ask yourself, what else is up there? Thanks for hanging out for this